You saw the title. Yes, Moscow's IQ quarter got hit. But the real story isn't the blast, it's the 3-hour window where Russia's defense brain went dark. We'll map the sequence: a vertical drone breach at the 15th floor, EW denial, power cut, and a cyber heist that blinded drone corridors. Stay to see how decoys, ghost ping signals, and adaptive drones turned a skyline into a kill box, and why traditional air defense can't save a dense urban core. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. You saw the flashes on the skyline. What you didn't see was the entry path, an elevator of rotors slipping through glass on the 15th floor while radars scanned for arcs and cruise bodies, not a vertical thread through a facade. That's the gap that mattered. The first minutes were noise on purpose. Heavy guns and fast jets pushed sensors outward, and every watch officer looked long. Meanwhile, a wave of small airframes rode that clutter. Decoys lifted search beams high, luring antennas to hunt altitude. Under that false ceiling, a small strike cell slid into a mid-tower window slot. One pane gave way. The tower became a tunnel. Traditional air defense waited for the usual signatures. Ballistic rise. Cruise terrain mask. None of that showed here. Inside the shell of a glass wall, there is no clean angle for radar, no transponder you can trust. No IFF. No shot you can take without hitting your own. The facade itself became cover. This was a layered ecosystem, not a single craft. Long-range UJ-22 and Bober ER types reached the edges, carried guidance and EW payloads, and set the conditions. Microquad teams took the breach, built for tight rooms and short turns. Then came the wall crawlers, spider-like bots that grip stair rails and vent lips, slow but sure, bringing sensors where rotors can't sit. Each layer handed off the task and kept the route alive. Ghost ping decoys did the misdirection. They fed false targets to ISR nodes, placing phantom returns above the true corridor. Think of a magician who lifts one hand so your eyes ignore the other. Interceptors chased the echo. The real line stayed quiet and low. Electronic warfare pushed back. Kasuka 4 class pressure burned across control bands and GNSS. Adaptive drones answered by hopping mid-flight, auto-selecting clean slices of spectrum, and switching modulation when probes hit. Control links held. Video feeds stayed usable enough to steer. When a slice got dirty, the network shifted in seconds. Inside, a floor plan becomes a playbook. Entry drones pulsed range cues like a light LiDAR, marked how far a corridor ran, and flagged door frames with simple tags. They logged camera heads and angles. Routes moved to follow-on bots through short, encrypted bursts. In under 5 minutes a vertical lane existed from window to core, service hall, stairwell, duct spine, then cross corridors. Not fast by fighter standards, but fast enough to outrun a manual response. The cost picture tilts hard. You can stack BM-21 batteries, keep Su-35s on CAP, and layer SAMs for a mass salvo. That works against big, hot targets. Here, low RCS drones move door to door, each one cheap, quiet, and hard to paint. You spend millions to stop threats designed to be ignored by that spend. Numbers win when each airframe is a fraction of a missile's price. So how did they get in fast, and why did defenses fail? The noise shield hid the approach. Decoy-led misreads lifted radar attention away from the real lane. Adaptive drones turned a glass wall into a doorway and walked the seam while big-ticket defenses kept staring into the distance. The breach wasn't brute force. It was misdirection, timing, and control of the spectrum. With windows open and cameras dark, the fight shifts. Metal gives way to data. You don't need to smash the tower if you can switch it off and steer through its nerves. The next move aims at the brain, strip sensors, twist routes, and the building stops acting like a building at all. For 3 hours, an office tower stopped being a building and became a dead node. Lights gone. Lenses dead. Links cut. That silence set the tone for everything that followed. Once inside, The teams moved like electricians with a battle plan. Subpanels first. Breakers off, battery backups pulled, camera loops starved of power so the wall of screens went black instead of gray. Micro-drones dropped into stair cores, vents, and service shafts, each one small, quiet, and carrying just enough sensor to read heat, metal, and motion. Outside, T-72M1s sat back off the main lines, tucked out of long T-lines, gun tubes set to punish any push down the boulevard. They didn't rush the glass. They shaped the lanes. Russia tried to stitch the picture back together. Ka-52s probed for control hubs. Orlan ISR circled to find emitters and hand targets to ground units groping forward. But their feeds stuttered. Uplinks flickered. Relays lied. A map that should have updated in seconds dragged by minutes, then showed threats where there were none and missed the corridors that mattered. The spectrum turned into a storm. Kasuka 4-level jamming pressed across GPS, control links, and video. Counter-adaptive drones answered by shifting bands mid-flight, trimming bitrate, and holding a low duty cycle so they could steer without shouting. Decoys and ghost pings crowded the air with false cues, so scanners saw a swarm where there was only a thread. Relay drones sat on corners and floors, spoofing corridor beacons so interceptors chased a route that didn't exist while the real path slipped a floor below. Sensor denial did the heavy lift. Compact robots crawled to risers and junctions and snipped the spine, fiber trunks cut clean, PO lines severed at patch panels, badge readers dumb without power. Micro-drones flagged choke points, 2 rifles and a shield behind a half door, a tripod tucked behind a server cage, and passed those tags to the next wave. In the sublevel, a small recon team cracked a hardened room, bagged encrypted drives, and walked them out under cover of the same electromagnetic fog. Uplink traffic spiked, then fell to 0. After that, command nodes stared at stale screens. With local comms too loud to trust, the pace stayed high on passive means. Units ran RF sniffers that listened, not talked, then used angle and strength to triangulate. Reflections off glass and steel gave ghost radar cues you can read if you know what to look for. It's like tracking a drummer by the echo in the hall rather than the hit of the stick. They moved without putting a big signature in the air. Air defense had tools, but none fit the fight. Long-range systems can't engage low, indoor, and off-axis. Gun-based SHORAD could reach, but every burst risked fratricide in a glass canyon, fragments slicing back into friendlies and civilians. That forced a stand-down window. By the time rules cleared, the targets were deep and the lanes were wrong. The data pull flipped the board. Those drives held the keys to drone corridors and anti-drone grids, protocols, uplink rhythms, frequency shifts, and blind seams. For hours, that broke Moscow's air routes, bent intercept sequences, and widened ISR blind spots. Floor by floor, micro-UAS cleared ambush angles, marked safe doors, and kept the advance smooth, all without stacking bodies at the Stayriad. The gain wasn't ground. It was tempo and sight. Air corridors were resequenced. Command loops lagged 1 beat behind. That's control. The hard lesson lands now. Urban air defense built for missiles bleeds against cheap drones and quiet code. Harden the spectrum. Shield the cable runs. Or hand over the skyline to whoever can switch it off first. In cities like this, concrete is just a shell. The side that wires it faster wins. Deny the sensors, own the tempo, and towers fall without siege. That's the doctrine on display. If you want clear, technical breakdowns of how air, ground, and cyber link in real fights, subscribe. Then weigh in, would you invest first in drones, EW, or passive sensing? Comment your choice below. Subscribe and join a community that seeks to understand the realities of modern conflict. The blast drew the cameras. The blackout won the hour. Next, we break down how you harden spectrum and cable runs so a skyline can't be switched off.